Semen retention and the collapse of mainstream masculinity are two currents swirling in the same restless ocean of modern manhood. Across social media and real life, more men are turning to this ancient practice of holding their seed as a way to reclaim control, confidence, and clarity in a time where masculinity itself feels fractured. Before we go deeper, make sure you join the Telegram channel. The link is in the description because that's where the real conversations and insights continue beyond this video. Semen retention, in its simplest form, means avoiding ejaculation for a period of time, either through abstinence or control techniques. It's been around for centuries in Taoist and Tantric traditions that saw semen as a vital life force to be conserved. In our modern context, it has been reinterpreted as a form of masculine. The claims are seductive. More energy, higher testosterone, magnetic presence, sharper focus, stronger will. It's easy to see why such promises catch fire among men who feel lost in a world where traditional masculinity has been blurred by shifting social expectations. Yet beneath the hype, the scientific evidence remains thin. Studies show, at best, a small, temporary increase in testosterone after about a week of abstinence, but nothing approaching the life-changing transformation that online gurus often preach. Still, psychology plays a powerful role here. When a man chooses to hold back something instinctual, he feels a surge of agency in a world where control feels scarce. Retention becomes symbolic a rebellion against the easy dopamine hits of porn, hookups, and aimlessness. It's not really about semen, it's about sovereignty. It's about telling the world, I am not driven by impulse. I am in charge of my energy. That internal declaration can build confidence, even if the biological effects are minimal. Intisense semen retention reflects not a new discovery, but a desperate need for structure in a chaotic era. The collapse of mainstream masculinity didn't happen overnight. It came slowly through economic shifts that stripped men of traditional provider roles, cultural shifts that questioned dominance as a virtue, and digital shifts that rewarded passive consumption over creation. Many men, especially young ones, now drift between confusion and cynicism, looking for rituals that make them feel potent again. Retention promises that feeling not because of its physiological effects, but because it ritualizes discipline, restraint, and direction. Yet it's important to draw the line between empowerment and obsession. Some men push the idea to extremes, turning retention into a form of moral superiority. When that happens, the practice becomes just another kajia, different kind of dependency. Masked as strength, discipline is valuable, but rigidity is not. You can practice self-control without falling into purity cults. You can use the technique as a way to channel focus, not suppress desire. Desire itself is not the enemy. It's the raw material of purpose. If you're watching this and feeling inspired, I'll just say this. Support the channel if you can, by tapping the thanks button below. Every contribution helps keep these explorations independent, honest, and thoughtful. Think of it as fueling the same energy we're talking about. Directed effort, shared purpose, not wasted potential. Now, if we strip away the mysticism and look purely through the lens of science, we find that semen retention doesn't turn men into What it can do is interrupt destructive habits, especially compulsive porn use or mindless sex. It creates a pause button, a reset point, where you become more aware of how you use your time, your energy, your focus. That awareness alone can raise your baseline motivation. Some report more vitality, sharper thinking, and deeper presence, not because of retained semen, but because of retained attention. The real power is psychological, not physiological. And maybe that's the real lesson here. What we call aura might just be the glow of someone who has stopped scattering his energy in 100 directions. The irony is that by obsessing less over masculinity and focusing more on mastery, you end up embodying a stronger version of it. Semen retention practiced with reason can be a symbolic training ground for practiced with delusion. It becomes self-deception. The broader question remains, how can men redefine strength without clinging to outdated scripts? Perhaps it begins with understanding that discipline doesn't require denial. True masculinity doesn't mean rejection of the body, it means integration with it. The crisis of masculinity is really a crisis of meaning. We've confused power with control, dominance with direction, gratification with growth. Retention resonates because it whispers, "Take back your power." But the next evolution is to realize that power is not about holding it, about choosing when and how to release. The collapse of mainstream masculinity isn't a tragedy. It's an opportunity to rebuild something deeper, more intentional, less performative. A masculinity that doesn't fear softness, that channels strength through awareness, and that reclaims desire as creative fuel rather than something to suppress. So if you choose retention, let it be conscious, balanced, and integrated with purpose. Don't make it your identity, make it your experiment. Observe how it shifts your focus, your habits, your relationships. Keep what works, discard what doesn't. The goal isn't purity, it's clarity. The aura people speak of isn't mystical light, it's simply the radiance of a man who's disciplined, directed, and alive. The collapse of old masculinity is painful, but pain is how new structures grow. Maybe what's emerging isn't weaker, but wiser. Men are learning that strength isn't in domination or denial, but in direction. That's the real energy behind semen retention, not the biology, but the philosophy. Thanks for watching until the end. If this resonated with you, please consider contributing using the thanks button below. Every single gesture of support, no matter how small, helps this channel keep creating meaningful, independent work.